Yo guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. It's been a while since we've uploaded a video. We're back though for FIFA 20 content, and in today's video we're building a La Liga starter squad. Over the next few days I'm gonna try and upload multiple times a day. You're gonna be seeing some starter squads and some other squad builds, because that's really what there is to do right now. Now that we have the full database, since yesterday I believe we have it, maybe even since Tuesday, I'm not entirely sure. I've built some starter squads. I'm going to show you the first one today from La Liga. We're also going to be doing some how to start FIFA 20 videos, because I'm very good at the start of the game. I know how to make some coins, and then when I get through the mid game, I start to pretty much screw myself by doing SBCs and all that. But we will also be live streaming some of this squad building tomorrow when it's Friday, so do check out my Twitch as well down in the description. Let's get right into this La Liga starter squad. Starting off in goal, of course, we have quite a few options from La Liga, but I've opted to go for not Roberto Carlos. Holy shit, what was that? We've gone for Soria, 82 rated. I just saw Bruno, 78 rated. That looks weird when he's that low rated. Looks like a very well-rounded keeper of 83 diving, reflexes, 81 handling, and 82 positioning. When we look at the goalkeepers, you've got some other options. If Silesen is cheap, you can go for Silesen. He also looks like a good card. Pretty much just as good as the Soria card, so it doesn't really matter. Asenjo looks alright. I think Soria looks better. Pacheco looks alright. Again, I think Soria looks better. Masip could be usable. This Vajlik guy could be usable. And those are pretty much the options you have in goal. But you have enough options to find a cheap one that you're going to use. From Neto onwards, they're going to be too expensive for a starter squad, most likely. You don't want to spend all your coins on a goalkeeper, in my opinion. Moving on, going to right back. Again, a couple of options. I'm going to show you some options, but I would go for Kappa. Just because his name is Kappa. But he's got good physicals. I could show you the in-games. I'm gonna do that for some players. The players in the squad I will actually show the in-games for. So let's go to Kappa. Reason why I think he will be good if this wants to load up. There we go. I don't know why that took so long. He's got 83 physical first of all, with nice stamina at 92. That's very good for a starter player. Good aggression. Good enough strength for a starter fullback. He's 5'9", which isn't ideal, but high is also very nice to have, especially combined with that 92 stamina, means he won't get tired anyway. Good defending stats. It's actually a lot better than you would expect for 73 rated defense stat. His dribbling is okay for a fullback. It's not great. His passing is definitely his weak point. But these are starter players. They're always going to have their weak points. He's got good shot power, which is kind of relevant, and then good enough pace. With a, you could put an anchor camps on him. Early on, you probably don't want to be putting on anchor cam styles. I would actually go for not a physical boost, because he doesn't necessarily need it. I would go for a powerhouse. Boost that defending, boost that passing to be usable enough. Very good short passing especially, and also good vision. And he gets good defending stats. His pace is good enough for a starter fullback, especially when he has high stamina, because then later on in the game he feels a lot faster. In terms of other right backs, there's quite a couple. I believe there's Arias. There's arguably you could use Odriozola, but I think he will be too expensive now. He's got 89 pace. Trippier doesn't look good enough in my opinion. Same with Verjauco, and they might even be expensive. The other ones are probably going to be expensive because they're pretty high rated for fullbacks. Especially Carvajal will be expensive. Arias is also another usable card. Ruben Peña is a usable card. He just doesn't have the physicals in my opinion. DeMarcus is still usable. Even this Vidal card could be alright, but personally, I would go for Kappa just because of the physical stats. Moving on to center back. We have Diego Carlos to start off with, the Brazilian for now Sevilla. He used to play in League 1 last season. Loads of options at center back, so I'm actually just going to give you the two that I've opted for. Because otherwise we will be sitting here for an entire day. He's got very good physical stats to start off with. 81 jumping is nice for someone who's 6'1". Stamina, not too important for center back. Good strength, good aggression. Medium high work rates, by the way, are absolutely perfect for a center back. Some people say low-high. I actually prefer medium-high because most all the centre backs would be medium-high and that would complement each other way better, I feel like. Although work rates for centre backs have always felt a little bit irrelevant. His defending stats are nicely well-rounded with a good boost for my cam style, which we'll get into in a second. He could be really good. He's got decent reactions and composure for a centre back that's 79 rated. Good short passing for a centre back at 73. And of course, 77 pace is very, very nice. Also, 4-star weak foot and 3-star skill moves are pretty sick. The 3-star skill moves maybe not too relevant, but especially the 4-star weak foot is nice on the centre back. You should probably avoid anchor because you're wasting so many coins on a cam style early on in that case. And this is a squad you want to be using for the first few days at best. Maybe as your fitness team at some point in squad battles or something like that. So you probably go for like a sentinel. Makes him an 87 rated center back with really good physicals, a really good defending stats, and then still good enough pace probably for early game. So that will actually be a great center back in my opinion. I'm going to partner him with another Brazilian. And that will be Sydney. And he's got really good in-game stats as well, in my opinion. He's higher physical than Carlos, but he's way less well-rounded. He's mainly got that strength at 93, so he's kind of bully players off the ball. He's a bit slower. He's a worse card in my opinion, despite being higher rated. But good enough pace. He's actually got a pace boost at the age of 30, which is quite impressive. He's 6'1" again. He has high medium work rates, but as I said, it's not ideal, but I do feel like work rates for a defender, they're not too relevant most of the time. He's got nice and well-rounded defending stats. Again, good short passing for center back, good composure and reactions for a low-rated center back. Also decent ball control, which is quite nice for a center back. Dribbling is actually way more important for center backs than you might expect it to be. But that's a decent boost for him. If you put a cam style on him, once again, the most likely cam style you're going to choose early on is the Sentinel cam style. He once again goes to an 87 rated center back, but he gets really good defending and physical stats at that stage. Max out that strength, so he's going to bully attackers, especially the weaker, faster attackers off the ball, hopefully. And that would be, in my opinion, a very good starter center back. Going to left back, you've got a couple of options. We've gone for Lodi. I think this guy might be a bit expensive early on, actually. To the 5k mark or something like that. For some of these guys, you might have to pay 3 or 4k, which I think is very reasonable at the start of the game, with how many coins you can make on the web app and all that. But Lodi, he might be a bit more expensive because of the hype around him. And let's actually take a look at some left backs. I think he's the best one, though, in my opinion. Also for links, because he's Brazilian, that might make him a little bit more expensive. There's also a couple other cards, like this Nacho. There's Berichiche. Monday and Firpo, in my opinion, will be too expensive. Same with Gaia, and obviously Marcelo and Jordi Alba will be too expensive because they're very high rate for fullbacks. Moreno will probably do the job for you, but I'm personally not a big fan, especially with that low passing on him. Reguilon, probably not too bad, but it feels like pace is very important again this year. Like, it's more important than it was before in FIFA 19. So you definitely want to get some decent paced players, especially on the wings. That's what I feel like. From what I've seen from gameplay, what I've felt, what in the demo it feels like that as well. This guy's got good pace, good stamina as well. A stat I really look into is stamina quite a bit, because I think if you have good stamina early on, it helps you a lot. Also, 4-star skill moves is pretty nice. It does look like skill moves will be less important this year, so that's also less relevant. Good dribbling stats, good well-rounded defending, well-rounded passing, decent crossing as well. We don't know how important crossing is going to be this year. Maybe the normal cross actually gets a bit more usable rather than stupid ways of crossing. Which is what I would hope for. If there's any way of crossing, it would be normal crossing and just works every now and then. 5'8" for fullback is not too bad. High medium for fullback is pretty normal. But I think he's your best option at left back. But as I said, there's some other options that you can definitely be going for. Not a Brazilian 2-2 squad. Brazilians in LaLiga are looking really good this year for some reason. And then we move on to the midfield. We're going to start off on the right-hand side. We've gone for a bit of a better-known player. Someone who's been used in lots of FIFAs before, which is Daniel Vaz. He's got a downgrade by 2, but he's still just a well-rounded card. There's pretty much to it. He's got really good passing for someone who's 80 rated. And the rest is just super well-rounded. It's all like 70s plus pretty much on everything. Good stamina again. Lost the 4 skill moves I believe he had last year, but he's also pretty tall at 5'11". And he's medium. Apparently he should be a right back. I don't know why people hope for that, because he doesn't have the pace. But so be it. If he's at center mid, that's perfect for me, because I think he will be way better suited to the center mid role, which is where you would play him in the starter spot, I think. And then moving on to the other CM. He's going to be a bit slower, but he has really good stats for 79 rated, which is Alcaraz. I think he might have been a silver last year. From Real Valladolid, of course, a very well-known team from last year because of their SPCs. He might have been like a low-rated gold, I don't even know. But he's got good in-game stats. Again, good stamina. Good aggression. He's got good physical stats, well-rounded anyway. Good defending stats, especially interception, standing tackle, which is what you want from a more defensive-minded midfielder. Good enough dribbling. It's not ideal, but it definitely, in my opinion, is good enough. I've got to put some camp styles on the last players, but camp styles are something we have to find out if they're going to change them. Are they still going to be super cheap at the start of the game? Are they going to be packed a lot? Are they going to be less occurrent in packs, so they become a little bit more expensive, especially for the camp styles that used to be really cheap? Are they just going to go up because people are now like, early game, gotta use those cheap camp styles? We don't know. Passing, very nicely well rounded. That's actually where he's really good. Also great long shots and shot power for someone who's 79 rated. If he was a CDM, he would be 81 rated, which is why his card looks a bit better than what his rating suggests. Also medium high for defensive-minded work, or from defensive-minded player, is a very good work rate. 6 foot, very nice. And if you put a... What did I want to put on him? I think it was a Guardian. Nope. Gladiator? Backbone? I didn't want to... You could put a Maestro on him. Depends where you... It really depends where you're playing him, actually. You could put pretty much everything on him. This makes him a really good CDM, because he gets good defending and good passing. That might actually be really good camp style if you're really going to play him as a defensive-minded midfielder, but a powerhouse camp style. We've got loads of options there. There's loads of options for midfielders in the league, and anyway. We'll put in the camp first, actually, because otherwise I'm going to spoil that for you. Which is going to be Muniain. This is a player that I'm... Oh, crap. That I'm not sure about if he's going to be that great in game. He's got good pace. Very good dribbling stats. Nice vision and short passing. He's probably one of the lower stamina players. Despite being in a position where it actually doesn't matter. Also, only 3-star weak foot might not be ideal. But I think he'll get the job done as long as you keep him as a more forward player. He is really an attacker, not necessarily a midfielder. He always used to be a left winger and all that. He's 4-star, 3-star, as I said. Medium low is also not ideal. 5'7". We don't know what's going to be important. Maybe the agility and balance combination this year is way more important than having height and plays that can bully players off the ball. I think he'll do alright, especially early on. Because I think pace and dribbling looks very important this year. But I haven't played the full game yet, so I can't say if it's that good. But I think it'll be alright. I would put a Maestro camp style on him, by the way. I didn't know that, but I forgot to mention it. Looking at the camps CDMs we've gotten for starter teams, you could go... The 84 is probably a bit too high. Party, I think he will be expensive. He's always a very popular player. This Herrera, I think he's going to be expensive as well because he's new to La Liga. Rafinha doesn't look good this year. Fernando looks alright. Kondogbia will be another good shout, but he might be expensive just because it's Kondogbia and he was very popular last year. Coquelin always does the job when you need someone in the early games. Roque Mesa is a bit small, but he'll get the job done as well. And outside of that, there are not that many other options, but there's definitely some other plays you can upgrade to later on. This Picasso card doesn't look too bad with that 83 pace combined to it. And then some well-rounded stats, but he's not perfect, far from. So these are the 3 I went with. And then we move on to the wingers, and I actually had different wingers in the squad before. I had Chukwueze, I think at right wing. We're going to replace him with Melendo. So I think he will be a better player, just because he's got way more passing than Chukwueze, which you will see in a moment. So we're putting him at the right wing. We're playing a 4-4-3 attack, by the way, because I think it's a versatile formation, which you can always change. He's only 3-star, 3-star. He's also only 5'6" and medium work rates. I don't know how many of these skill moves on weak foots are actually been confirmed. I'm just gonna assume they all are correct. 3-star, 3-star isn't horrible early game. He's got good enough pace. Decent enough shooting, especially the positioning, finishing, and shot power are decent enough. Very good short passing, decent long passing, decent vision. Dribbling stats are nice and well-rounded. Very good agility and balance. And then 71 stamina is not too bad. If you look at some other right wingers in La Liga, as I said, there's Chukwueze, I think his name is, as an option. There's quite some good right wingers for this year in La Liga, but most of them are, of course, a bit higher rated, like Messi, Bale, Dembele. Navas doesn't look too amazing. Correa, I think, will be too expensive early on for a starter team. Vasquez might be a decent option. I just never like his cards in game. There's always something wrong with his cards. And he might be expensive just because he's Real Madrid. Melendo, as we have in the squad. And then there's this Chukwueze card. At first I was like, he looks a bit better just because he's got way more pace, same dribbling, more shooting, but he's got way less passing, which you're going to notice in game. He's also 4 ratings lower, so you would expect him to be worse, but he would be another option in my opinion. Doesn't Odegaard have 5-star skills? I'm quickly going to check. He does. So he could also be fun to play with just because of the 5-star skills. At left wing, we have a bit of a better known player again. That's been around for years now. It's going to be Christian Teo, because in the last few years, he always had 3-star skill moves. And he just felt very unhandy on the ball. He wasn't really that versatile on the ball. He still doesn't have the agility and balance for it to be a great winger. But now he's got 4-star skill moves, changing direction, all that with him should be a lot better. He's got well-rounded shooting, which is the main issue for most of the wingers. Compared with decent passing, decent enough dribbling. 71 stamina, again, might be a bit of an issue. The forwards look to have way worse stamina than all the other players in this squad. But you've got some other options again. If you go to the position of left wing. There is Rodrigo, who I had in there first, the new Real Madrid signing. But because he's a new Real Madrid signing, he'll probably be a bit expensive. Junior will probably be hyped up as well, Vinicius Junior. Just because it's Vinicius Junior. He's on the cover stars as well. It always gets a bit of hype. This Vargas guy could be usable. I went with Teo because he's way more shooting and quite a bit more passing. Ocampos, if you're a more physical player, a bit of a taller player, he's a good option. And this NDI card could be alright as well. Junior could be alright, but he has too low dribbling for me for a winger, which is why I didn't go for him. Also not the greatest of shooting anyway. So yeah, I went with Teo, because I think it would be good when he's got that 4-star, 4-star. I think it was 3-star, 3-star last year, which would be a nice change to his card. Let's actually check real quick. I clicked FIFA 18, didn't I? It was already an 80 rated last year. I quickly want to see. Oh, he's 3-star, 4-star. He was already a decent card. Just got overlooked quite a bit. It was actually a bit better last year for his in-games. So going back to the squad, we're going to go to striker. And this will be the final play, of course. This is probably going to be the most expensive player because it's Morales. And his card looks insane for an 82 rated striker. Like, he's been in a couple videos of some people already as an OP starter card. Lots of people have seen this card and are like, yeah, this is going to be a good card. First of all, good stamina. 4-star, 4-star. 5'11 for a striker, that's very fast. Is not too bad. Nice, well-rounded dribbling. Agility could be a bit better. Maybe you still want to boost that. The passing is alright. He always used to be a winger, which is why that's probably pretty high. Got 81 shooting with very nice positioning and finishing. Also, long shots, not too bad. And really good pace. If you put a cam style on him, like maybe a marksman, he gets very nice shooting, very nice dribbling, and decent physicals. Maybe you don't want to upgrade the physicals, and you go for like a finisher, not a finisher, sniper. Yeah, you could go for a sniper. Sniper is a very good cam style for strikers that are very fast already. When you don't need to upgrade their physicals, which you usually don't do when players have very low physicals already, because then it's a bit irrelevant to boost them. He gets insane dribbling stats and insane shooting stats. That's just the way it is. He will be an insane striker. 87 rated striker card. But you can probably pick up for like, I'm gonna say 6k. If you're doing it smart on the web app. I think you'll be able to get him for 6k. You might go up all the way to like 15k mark. Because he looks that OP. But you got some options at strike as well. Which we're gonna look at the end of this video. On the top of my head, there is Inaki Williams. There's someone else as well that looks really, really decent. There's Inaki Williams. Of course, there's João Felix, but he's gonna be like 20, 30k at the start of the game. Gamero could be usable. I don't know if he's forces kill moves. If he does have the forces kill moves, he would be right. Porto wouldn't be too bad. It was a decent card last year. Now it's centered forward. Decent card. I would actually consider playing him at cam over Muniain. Looking at this card right now. Way less dribbling, but way more physical. Muniain is probably your best other option after Inaki Williams and Morales. In my opinion, very nice pace, good dribbling, good enough shooting. Probably gets let down by those physicals. 74 stamina is not too bad. 4-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot is a bit of a letdown. His dribbling is actually very well rounded. So if Morales ends up being very expensive, I'll probably put in Muniain. Or Porto. But I think Porto would be better suited to cam than a striker. That's going to be the team though. I'm going to save it. I will put a link to it in the description. I'm going to call it La Liga Starter Twistr. And we'll put it onto the playable section. And we'll choose the... Is there a La Liga badge? No, but choose the Spain badge because it's a La Liga starter. So there it is. The link will be in the description to the squad. This is the full team I'm designed for a La Liga starter. Next up will be the Bundesliga. I'll probably be wearing the same outfit. So if that upload comes in the next day or something, don't be like, oh, he wears the same outfit for days. I'm recording them all at once. This is the team. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like. The more likes we get, the more of these squad builds we do in a very short amount of time. And as I said, make sure you check out my Twitch. I'm mainly a streamer rather than a YouTuber. But that will be the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.